Good morning and welcome to the Truth of College Sports Show. The opinions expressed in this video are entirely of my own, but will become yours soon enough. Let's get into it. So the college football weekend started on Friday with a couple Group of Five championship games. Those ones I watched every single one of them. We're big football fans on this channel. And so I watched all of them. None of them were notable. Aside from Tulane, James Madison won their games like they should have. I mean, that's really all to say about those. James Madison didn't look as good as Tulane did. Tulane played a much better team. James Madison's going to struggle later on. I'll talk about all the playoff stuff here in a bit. But all right, so let's talk about the main curse of the weekend, which was Saturday, the conference championship games. So in the last video, I voiced my disdain for the way they did the conference championship games this year and the way they hyped up the SEC championship and not the Big Ten championship, and that ended up biting them in the ass a little bit. It didn't look good for College Game Day by picking Bama over Georgia, but I'll talk about it. Let's talk about the Big 12 championship first. So, Texas Tech is the real deal. I mean, that defense is the second best defense in the playoff, for sure. Maybe first. I mean, those linebackers, the Stash crew, I mean, this is a top defense. Reminds me of the Bears in 2006. A great defense, turnovers, flying around the field. They don't seem proficient in only one category. They seem good at everything. So that really bodes well for them in a playoff spot. So then, BYU. I feel bad for BYU. They should have made the playoff if Bama did. And Bama did make the playoffs, and they shouldn't have. But you put Bama in, you should have put BYU in if the conference championship games didn't get punished at all. So BYU is such a good football team that just got the shaft this year. Because they only lost to one team, lost to them twice. I mean, imagine if Bama lost to Georgia twice in no other games. They'd be in the playoff. They'd probably be the 4 seed, 5 seed. So, I mean, that's kind of what I think about that. I mean, BYU's playing maybe Georgia Tech in the Pop-Tart Bowl. They'll be pretty good, I think. I mean, Barry Bachmeier's a beast. He played through. If he didn't have that leg injury that made the offense stagnant and very predictable in what they could do, they would have came a lot closer to a win there instead of a loss that they suffered. But BYU with Kalani Sitake will always be a top team. Barry Bachmeier is going to be back because he's only a freshman. So, I mean, he'll be back. BYU is going to be a team to watch next year if the committee treats them like the team they are, which there's no telling with that. So, the SEC championship game next. Georgia, one of the best teams in the country, probably the future national champion. I mean, they dominated. I mean, they dominated Alabama, both sides of the ball. That score could have went even higher if Kirby wanted it to. He doesn't run the scarp he should have. I mean, that was a domination. In Alabama, this was a pathetic performance, and we've seen this the last couple weeks. Oklahoma, they almost lost that game. They almost lost to South Carolina. No, they did lose to Oklahoma. They almost lost to South Carolina game. They almost lost to Auburn. This is not a football team that should have been in the playoff. I mean, it's crazy to me that they're in it. Ty Simpson, good quarterback. He has been playing like garbage for the last couple weeks. And that's obvious to anybody who watches the film, anybody who watches the tape. I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, it was a total and utter disaster, that game. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. They couldn't stop Gunnar Stockton. It was bad. So, the SEC championship game was won by Georgia. Georgia's going to be a top team. So, now let's talk about we'll talk about ACC. What a disaster. The ACC is a disaster this year. And as I've said in previous videos, that is completely the fault of the ACC and the officials for what they did to Clemson in the Duke game. I mean, Duke won the AC championship, and they looked good. I mean, the game, they played well, but Tony Elliott just had a bad game. The Virginia Cavaliers were so good all season at scoring points, and they just couldn't do it when it mattered most against Duke. So, I mean. But the Duke team, they shouldn't have made the playoffs. It's good they didn't. But the ACC looks childish, looks foolish. They don't look good after what has happened in the last couple of weeks with them. I think this game was just a microcosm of everything. It was just Duke shouldn't have been there. That game should have been Virginia or Miami or Virginia and Georgia Tech. Those were the two options. They messed up. I mean, the ACC should feel really bad about themselves for how that game went. Disaster. All right. Big Ten championship. This was the game of the weekend. Really the only game that was good. The Duke game was very good too, entertainment-wise. But the only game where both teams played very well was Ohio State, Indiana. All right, so let's get into it. That Ohio State team is very good, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be treated as such. And they are by the committee. I mean, but Indiana outplayed them, and it was interesting because Indiana has been praised for their offense all year. Fernando Mendoza, the running backs, the receivers, just to hurry up the quick tempo they run, the way they play offense has been what's been very well documented, especially that O-line. That O-line's awesome. But that defense for Indiana pulled it out for them. I mean, and the coaching job, Cignetti's the best coach in the country, and that's obvious. Curt Cignetti is probably the GOAT right now. I mean, him and Kirby Smart are 1 and 2, in my opinion, for best coaches in college football. Ryan Day's a distant third because he squandered the timeouts in this game. He called 2 quick timeouts in succession. He didn't use the third timeout after they got the first down. He then used the timeout when they got the second down, which that's not how you would have done that. It was bad play by Ohio State, especially bad coaching, and that's what got them beat was the coaching. Now, when it comes to the playoffs, this could be an Ohio State team like we saw last year. Very good, very great, and they're just going to grind it out. Julian Saint's probably the best quarterback in the country. It's him and Fernando Mendoza. So let's get in to the playoffs. This is where we're going to spend the bulk of time in this video because I got opinions, and I'm sure you do too, and I want to hear them in the comments below. But as we all know, that my opinions and your opinions are one and the same because we're very smart individuals. All right, so let's get into this. Number 1 seed, Indiana. Easy, great pick. Love it. Indiana should have been the 1 seed if the committee didn't. It would just show blatant SEC bias, which we know they have. But anyway, so number 2 was Ohio State. Now, I'm well known for my anti-SEC views. Georgia should have been 2. Ohio State should have been 3. Or maybe even 4 just because they lost the championship game. This whole thing about not being punished for your conference championship games is dumb. If you play like crap, like Alabama did, they should have been punished. And then Ohio State, if you lose, you should go below the teams that didn't. I mean, in the championship games. You're all being judged equally. So, whatever on that. But as I said before, Ohio State's a great team and deserves to be in this spot, ultimately. But let's talk about Georgia. No, that's one of the best teams in the country. It's them and Indiana and everybody else, in my opinion. Georgia is a great football team, and it's obvious. They probably should have been number 2, like I said before. And then number 4 is Texas Tech, another team I talked about in this video already, so I'm not going to touch on them much, but that defense is going to win some games in the playoffs. Now, the offense is kind of suspect in points, especially in the BYU game where they struggled to gain points with great field position. But I do think they can come around. And they're going to be a top team in this playoff, and people should be picking them to go farther. But ESPN has told us that if they're not in the SEC or Big Ten, they suck. So that's why that you won't see a lot of positive coverage for Texas Tech, but I'll give it to you. I am unbiased. I am unbought. So number 5 is Oregon. Another great team, great placement. I mean, 5 seems a little high, but I don't know who'd go above them. Ole Miss isn't better in their current state. So, I mean, Oregon's going to be a monster come playoff time, especially since James Madison has to go to Autzen. I mean, Dane Lanning right now has an easy path to the playoff with that, with James Madison being the game they're playing. But the one thing about Dane Lanning is he has failed in big games. They've struggled against Penn State, which nobody should have done this season, and lost to Indiana. Those were the 2 biggest games they played. USC game is really iffy. If it really is a big game, if it isn't, were they in the top 25 because they were Big Ten? Probably, but I mean, so on paper that is a big game. So he did win that as well. But he's struggled in the past, like Washington. He lost to Washington twice, Pac-12 championship and in the regular season. So it's going to be a struggle to see how he does in these big games. But Oregon's going to make it to the quarterfinals probably pretty handily. So number 6 is Ole Miss. What is there to say about Ole Miss that hasn't been said? This is just a tough team to really talk about because of Pete Golding. He's the mystery man for me. Like, how's he going to coach? Is he going to coach like Kiffin? Is he going to try to do something different? And how's it going to work? Are the players going to have their head in the game? This team could be on upset watch. I mean, I talked a lot about Ole Miss last week as well, mainly about Lane Kiffin aspect of Ole Miss, not really the school or the team itself. But this is going to be a tough game for Ole Miss against Tulane. But Ole Miss can probably pull it out if Trinidad Chambers plays like he has been, which is very good. So we'll see. But this is the upset. I think this will be the upset game of the playoffs if there is one this year. Last year, we really didn't get one. Ohio State was technically the lower seed against Tennessee, but that really doesn't really count. But this is the upset game for me, and I think it could happen. I'm not saying put money on it, but it could happen. So now we're at the 7th seed, and that's Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a good football team, but are they great? And that's what I don't know. Their record has not been good. No, their record's been good, obviously. I mean, that's dumb of me to say. They're 11-1. But their actual strength of schedule is bad. I mean, they've beat nobodies. Really, the best team they beat, I don't know. Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame. Best team they beat was Notre Dame. That's the only good team they beat. They played the bottom half of the SEC. I mean, this Texas A&M team, their first real test is going to be Miami. So, since Notre Dame game, that was week 2. So, we'll see there. This is another game, upset watch. I don't think that's on as much of upset watch as Ole Miss, but especially with it being in College Station. But this could be a Mike Elko masterclass if they win. Because Mike Elko's a great coach, and I think they'll be able to pull it out because of Miami's problems, which I'll touch on in a second. So then number 8 is Oklahoma. Oklahoma probably shouldn't be in the playoffs, so we're looking at them from pure how you play football perspective, which is what it should be, but it's not. It's if you're in the SEC or not. So Oklahoma's been playing dog crap football. Their offense is the worst offense in major college football. One of the worst offenses I've ever seen. But that defense is so good, it hasn't mattered. I mean, that's Oklahoma football right there, is the offense doesn't matter. You just play with that defense. You do what you got to do, and you win the game. You punch them in the eye, give them a black eye, 17-10 win, 13-10 win, 13-9. I mean, these games are very low-scoring and boring to watch, including their biggest win of the season was Alabama, and they're playing them again in the playoff. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be the hardest game to predict out of all of them. I will set my predictions in stone at the end, after I get done talking about each team. I don't know. This is a tough one. Oklahoma's a great defense, terrible offense, and that in the middle of that Venn diagram where you've got the defenses up here and the offense is down here. Can Alabama puncture that and get through? That's the question for me. And now with Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff. Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff. It's the dumbest, most obvious example of SEC bias I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it is crazy to me. Notre Dame is one of the greatest teams in this season of football. They're not even playing a bowl game. That's its own dumb thing. It's crazy to me that we have sacrificed the legitimacy of this spurt to let Bama in the playoffs. It is the dumbest thing ever. Oh, conference championship games shouldn't count against you. Then why do they count for you? You played in it. You got boat raced by Georgia. You got slapped across the face. You got your lunch money taken. That's it. You're done. You're playing the Pop-Tart Bowl. That's what should happen, but it's not. Alabama is in the playoff. They're the worst team in the playoff. That's a Power 5 team. They will hopefully, for the sake of college football, lose to Oklahoma. And that committee will get through their thick brains that the logo on the helmet doesn't matter. That's what you can say in the comments. Oh, he's biased against Alabama. Well, damn right I am. I want this spurt to be good and true and what it needs to be to survive. And if you're watching this video, I hope you think the same way. This is a disaster. This is one of the worst committee decisions I've ever seen. Up there at Florida State, not as bad as that, but that was also to get Bama in. I mean, at what point do we get rid of the committee and go by the BCS ranking like it used to be? Not the two teams, just rank them 1 to 12 and then take the conference champions. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Alabama's in this playoff, and I hope you're with me on whatever day they play, cheering for Oklahoma. Boomer sooner. All right. So now that I got that off my chest, that's been weighing on me. So let's talk about Miami. Miami, they're a good team, not a great team. And in big game situations, they've shown that more often than not. It's been a disaster in those. They've struggled in big games. The only big game they've won since Cristobal has been there has been Notre Dame, I would believe. I think they beat Clemson 1 year too with him there, but I don't know. That was probably a bad Clemson team. There's been a couple of those in the 2020s. So Miami is a team that if Carson Beck plays well, they have the talent, they have everything, they can win, and they'll beat A&M, move on. But that hasn't been happening much throughout the year. They've squandered opportunities against bad teams, so I doubt they'll win against Texas A&M. And then the two group of 5 teams, let's talk about Tulane. Now, there's another thing, a hill I'm going down. For the sport to be healthy, every team needs to be represented. And I hope you think that at home. Every single team, I'm talking down to James Madison, Tulane, Troy, UMass. Every single team needs to be represented. That's what bowl games are for. We've grown out of the bowl game model. College football isn't that anymore. College football is a playoff model. College football is NFL, but more teams. And that's fine. As long as we don't get to the Pales in the NFL, which is a ton, and I'll talk about the NFL some point in time in the lifespan of this YouTube channel. But so Tulane needed to be in the playoff. I'm glad they got in. I'm glad James Madison got in. Tulane is a team that could upset. That they're good. John Summerall is very good. And James Madison, I'll touch on real fast. They're not really a team that I'm going to harp on or nothing. They're good, not great. I mean, they're very good at what they do. I hope they beat Oregon for the safety of college football and show these teams can be in. But I like Oregon. I love Dan Lanning. He's awesome. He's got a tattoo of his wife. I don't really know what that's about. But I love Oregon. I love James Madison. I love football. And for football to stay healthy, unless you're an Oregon fan, you should be cheering for James Madison. All right. So that's our 12 teams. What teams missed the cut? Notre Dame, best team, top 5 team in college football, been ranked lower a year for no reason. I mean, they lost to Texas A&M and Miami first 2 weeks of the season. The first 2 games of their quarterback's career. That's insane to me. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. But for that, I know. See that right there? You're going to say I'm a Notre Dame fan because of that. I'm not. See that right there? Clemson, not a fan of them either. See that right there? Texas, don't like Texas. Archie Manning's a fraud. Colts, not a fan of them. Fan of the Chicago Bears. I just have stuff back there, as you can see. But I'm not a Notre Dame fan, as I was saying. But they got screwed. They should have been in the playoff. And then BYU's the other team that got left out. And there's one more that I'll talk about too. BYU, man. I wish BYU could have made it because they should have if Bama did. But they didn't. That's one you can't really be upset about, especially since Notre Dame did miss. If Notre Dame didn't miss, you could be a lot more excited or talking about that game. But it's kind of tough to talk about BYU when there's such a bigger story right there. But BYU deserved to make the playoffs. All my people out there in Provo watching this, you deserve to make the playoffs. Hopefully you do next year. Join me, the crusade to change college football. We are going to do it. We're going to change college football. Just listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. We're changing college football. We're changing football as a whole. We're going to fix what is broken in college football. So, and then the other team that missed was Vandy. Vandy should have missed. The common sentiment is, no, they shouldn't have missed. No. They should have missed. They weren't a good football team. Derek Pavia got lucky all year. And if you're watching going, oh, I feel sorry for Vanderbilt. That's what the media has told you, and I don't blame you for that. I get it. I did too for a long time. But Vanderbilt has had 2 good years in a row. Some teams don't even get that, and the teams who do don't get that attention, don't get the media attention. Virginia, how good were they this year? And didn't get any media attention. Finished with the same record as Vandy. Didn't get any media attention. That is ESPN and SEC bias trying to convince you that every SEC team is very good. And they're not. Kentucky sucks. That's just a straight up Kentucky, but they do. I mean, it's dumb that they've tricked people into thinking Vandy can make the playoff and think Vandy deserved to make the playoff. And that's what I'm telling you now. Follow me. We will be tricked no more. I've been tricked numerous times in my life. I've been told Caleb Williams was the answer. He's not. We all get tricked. I want to try to guide you through that trickery. So and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. It means a lot to me. I mean, I'm trying to make a career out of this. Please subscribe to this channel. All right, so let's talk more about college football and less about me. So, the playoffs set. I'm going to pick the games for it now. So, number 5, Oregon. Number 12, James Madison. Oregon is the answer here in Autzen. Like I said, James Madison would be a fun story, really fun. I'd love to come up here the day after and shout about James Madison, but it's probably not going to happen. So then, number 6, Ole Miss versus number 11, Tulane. I'm picking Tulane for that. I think Tulane shocks them. They both have new coaches, even though John Summerall did stay, but they both have that cloud looming over them. I think they'll beat Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss is going to have their head in the game. I know we said that about Mississippi State. This time, Tulane has the ability to capitalize on it. So then, number 7, A&M, 10, Miami. This is a game when upset could happen. I don't think it does. A&M probably runs through Miami. First half close, second half disaster for Miami. So then, 8 and 9. Alabama versus Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner! Oklahoma's got to win this game for the good of the sport. Now, I want them to win this game by 50 points. They need to win this game so hard that Kalen DeBoer cries on the sidelines. Big Al quits, takes his helmet off, walks off like Antonio Brown. Oklahoma needs to win this game. Needs to win this game. This is the truth. They're going to tell you, oh, Bama's the underdog. Oh, Bama lost to Oklahoma. Cheer for Bama. If you listen to anybody who tells you if college football is okay, if Oklahoma loses this game, it's not. It's not going to be okay. But this will be used as example forever. Forever. That Bama should make the playoff. We can't have that happen. We need Alabama to lose. So if you're sitting in Tuscaloosa and you're a Bama fan, you need to cheer for Oklahoma. And this is for the soul of college football. This is for what college football means to so many people. This is the most important game in the last 15 years. This is it. So, Oklahoma, hopefully they win, hopefully they cover, hopefully they beat them by 70. So, that's my first round picks. In terms of the next round, I'm not going to go into that. This video, I'll go into a different video. But there's one more thing I really want to talk about, and that is the Notre Dame bowl situation. So I've talked a lot in this video about how I do not think Notre Dame should have left the playoffs. Notre Dame, there's no reason why they should have missed the playoffs. But then they denied a bowl game. And why? What are you proving? I mean, like I said, I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but I cannot imagine sitting here and being excited for a bowl game. Oh, well, at least we're going to make a bowl game. Seeing that devastating news about the playoff, then going, oh, well, at least we'll make a bowl game. And then that's taken away because you pouted. I mean, Notre Dame could have had the college football world on their side, and they just moaned and cried. I mean, I get being pissed. I get being angry. I get being upset about this. They have every right to be. But that's not a way to handle it. You go play BYU in the Perp Tart Bowl, and you beat the hell out of BYU. That's how you prove to. I'm not even saying that's what I'd want to happen. That's what you would prove. That's how you prove that you got left. That's how you prove that you shouldn't have been looked over. So, I mean, that's, to me, what they should have done, just played the game instead of quitting. I mean, the quit, it's one of the more cowardly things I've ever seen in college football. As much as this Bama game is for the soul of college football, this could be the biggest problem with it. I didn't get my way. No. No. That's not how multi-million-dollar college football program should act. You're backed by the entire Catholic Church. That's the message you're sending? Good idea. Good idea. So, I mean, those are the biggest news stories this week. I mean, Penn State's head coach, Matt Campbell, good hire. Very good hire. Aside from that, I think that's it. This was the Truth of College Sports show. I want to leave you with this. Cheer for Oklahoma. Cheer for them. We need this. We need them to win, or college football as we know it could end. This has been the Truth of College Sports show. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video. If you didn't, don't. That's fine. I'll make it. Anyway, if you disagree with me, comment below. If you agree with me, comment below. But I hope you agree with me, because this is the vision. We all know. I want to tell you the truth. I'm not saying I'm right on everything, but I want to pierce the false narratives Fox and ESPN are pushing and give you the facts. Thank you for watching. This was the Truth of College Sports show. Peace.